Hello and welcome to Wildly Curious, a podcast that tells you everything you need to know about nature and probably more than you wanted to know. I'm Laura.
And I'm Katy, and today starts our first season break mini episode, and we're going to be talking about volcanoes and the surprising things they've made, buried, and accidentally made cooler.
A force destructive but also really awesome.
Yeah.
If you haven't, go back to the end of the last season and listen to all about volcanoes and like what they are. And then
we gave a brief overview of a third grade level of Volcanoes 101 for you.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Awesome. So Laura and I were going to kick it back and forth. We're out 6 episodes total of these mini episodes every week. And then we'll kick off season 12. And we have so many new changes and surprises. So the first volcano I'm going to talk about and butcher every single time I say it.
Oh no.
Is Popocatépetl. And yes, it does just trail off at the end there. No, it's in Mexico.
Okay.
So.
Oh, geez.
Yep. So okay, and this one is really neat. So like I said, the theme is that they've made, buried, and accidentally made cooler. This is a buried one.
Okay.
So there's a volcano, and it has buried the world's largest pyramid.
Ooh.
So that's what I'm going to be talking about.
Dude, I would be like, we need to excavate it right now.
So, So before we get to the pyramid, though, let's talk about, obviously what the Minisodes are all about, which is the volcano itself. Because it's not just any volcano. This one is called the Popocatépetl. And it does trail off every time. Yeah, and I promise I'm going to say it incorrectly, I said, every single time.
I just apologize to everyone from Mexico.
Everyone. It is Popocatépetl.
Okay, so this is definitely it's not Mexican. It's a Mayan or Aztec word.
Yes, it's
forget what the language is.
So it means smoking mountain in Natal, Nahuatl,
which is where the axolotl or axolotl comes from.
Yes. No, exactly. And it's called Smoking Mountain because it's literally been puffing away for centuries, just like a chimney. Standing over 17,700 feet tall, this volcano is the second highest peak in Mexico and the 5th highest in North America. It's not one of those sleepy postcard perfect volcanoes.
Yeah.
It's very much so awake and very, very active. It has erupted more than 15 times in recorded history. It's still rumbling. And when I say in recent, you can go check out the webcam that they have of it recently. If you Google it, you can just watch it just constantly smoking. So that's pretty cool. It's part of the Trans-Mexican Volcanic Belt, which kind of sounds like a wrestling tournament. But anyway, it's part of the volcanoes that were created by the tectonic drama that we talked about in the Volcano Explainer episode. Specifically, the Cocos Plate that is sliding under the North American Plate.
Okay.
And the Popocatépetl is one of the spicy results. It's going to be every time. The number of times that I have the phonetic spelling of this out too is in every section after I write it here. But it doesn't get any better. All right. So yes, this is definitely one of those situations where the Earth's crust is, like Laura's explained, like a game of bumper cars, one going under the other, and instead of sparks hitting and stuff, it's just volcano constantly erupting, very, very active, like I said. It's a stratovolcano, which means it's made of layers, where it goes lava, ash, rock, and it just keeps going, stacked up over thousands of years. Like a geology cake.
Yeah. What was that? Like a tiramisu kind of situation.
Yeah, there you go. Volcanic geology cake. And it's not just steaming and sulking for no reason. It's been known to just blow up. The most recent one is 2023, so a couple years ago. Ash, lava, everything that's can be crazy and dramatic about a volcano. This one has it, and it does it often.
I just love that in the past. I mean, I can see the appeal of wanting to live next to something so powerful. It seems cool and very godlike.
Yeah.
But
But
having lived or constructed anything next to a volcano, you'd have to be able to expect, like, crap's gonna happen.
right? Well, so here's the wild thing about all of this. As destructive as this volcano can be, it's also been a protective guardian because nestled right in its shadow, there's this big grassy hill. And if you look up pictures of it, you're like, oh, yeah, that's
a hill.
Yeah, it's just a hill that you would go sled riding down, you would roll down as a kid, except it's not a hill. It's a pyramid, a massive pyramid, and the largest one in the world by volume.
Cool.
So it's bigger than the Great Pyramid of Giza, and it's called the Great Pyramid of Cholula. And it has a much longer name, but dude, it is TLACHIHUATLTEPETL.
Yeah, it's the Nahuatl language is really hard.
Yes, but that means man-made mountain. So it's like, okay, that should have been your first clue. If the
Yes,
if
if that was the name the entire time.
Yes, yeah. So it was kind of, but it was kind of, lost over the years.
Yeah. If I were like a native person, we might have all have known about it and just refused to tell anybody else.
Yeah.
Like,
so the pyramid, which started around 3rd century BCE, and it wasn't just built, it was layered over time.
Yeah.
So the pyramids in Egypt were pretty much, they built them up and that was it.
in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, not the case. So generations kept adding to this until it became a sprawling mega structure covering over 16 acres at the base.
Holy crow.
Yeah, which is about 1,400 or 1,480 feet, like on each side.
So that means if they kept adding to it, this is, how like the pyramids are really essentially like tombs and they're like hollowish. This must not be hollow at all. This is just people kept adding to the sides and then going up, and then side.
Yeah, and
then
like
up,
adding,
up.
yeah. And it still is a pyramid, but it's not like a perfect cone-like structure.
Yeah. I know the ones down there are usually the steps.
Yes. And so because of that, this one only stands because of how wide it is, and they didn't get like because again, a pyramid, but it's not a pointy pyramid. It only stands about 180 feet tall, which I say that, but still. So for comparison, Egypt's Great Pyramid of Giza is taller than 455 feet, but its base is only 13 acres, so it's significantly smaller. So this one that we're talking about, Cholula, wins in volume. It clocks in at roughly 4.45 million cubic meters, which is nearly double Giza's 2.6 million cubic meters.
It's just low and squat.
Yeah, right? Yeah, right? So while Giza is tall and like pointy, show off, Cholula, it's a big, quiet, just absolute unit of a pyramid, really.
Unit of a pyramid.
I mean, but you know what I mean? It's like a... Yeah, it's just
especially because it's solid, and the pyramid of Giza is
like a short,
not.
stocky unit of a pyramid. Yeah. So after centuries of abandonment, so they were building this and everything, but after it was abandoned, and help from the volcano constantly erupting, laying down ash and everything, it got buried. And so then people started to just leave because they're like, well, can't stay here. This keeps happening.
Yeah.
And so slowly, naturally, over time, it kept adding up layers and layers and layers. Everybody's gone. And then eventually it just looked like a hill, because if you go back to that episode we talked about volcanoes, volcanic ash, everything like that, what is it? Natural fertilizer. It's really good for the soil. So it would layer, soil would come in, everything would start to grow, and then boom, another ash, and so it just layer. So in the 1500s, when the Spanish rolled in, they didn't recognize it at all as anything sacred or significant. They just said it saw a nice grassy hill and was like, you know what would look great up there? A church, because what else did they do? Which they built, and there's still a church there, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah, but the real twist is how they found this. So the pyramid wasn't discovered. Okay, so remember, happened 3rd BCE, built up, abandoned, and everything. 1500s, Spanish roll in. They're like, oh my gosh, there's this nice hill. This would be perfect if we just put a church right up there. But then again, because of the area, the culture, and everything, they're like, well, we can't destroy a church. So it wasn't until 1910 when construction crews that were expanding on an insane asylum, because apparently they needed more space or whatever, they accidentally hit a stone wall while digging. And they were like, what's
weird.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's whenever they found it. And since then, archaeologists have uncovered more than 5 miles of tunnels inside. Whoa. And what they found
it
was
isn't totally hollow.
What?
So it isn't totally hollow.
It's not totally hollow. No. But I mean,
or totally full is what I was thinking originally.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not full at all. So it has 5 miles so far that they know of tunnels and everything,
of
temples, ceremonial altars, elaborate staircases, pottery, and even murals. One of the murals, which is the most famous one, is of a drinking party, and it's called the Mural of Drinkers. And you have to look it up because think of the ancient Aztec, Inca, that artwork of boxy. But they're clearly all drinking and getting drunk. Yeah. So it is kind of funny.
Dude, so cool. But also, if there's a real such thing as curses, like...
Dude, that's got to be it. And you just build a church on top. You just, you know what? Boom. Our religion's better than yours. Especially some places where they, like, sacrifice people in there. You know what I mean? Oh, goodness. So the story, though, isn't just about the pyramids. Like we said, this is a mini-series about volcanoes. And normally, they are very violent and unpredictable forces. But in this one, it was actually... turned out to be a plot twist of something that was good. So take this area, while it's been huffing and puffing for centuries, it has helped to protect, because not only, if you think of Pompeii, all right, when all the ash and everything covered, it hit it, but it also preserved it, like fossilized it in a way.
Because it was
that's
very
basically,
fast.
Yeah, and that's essentially kind of what happened here. It's just like layers. And so it accidentally not only buried it, but buried it, preserved it. I didn't really find anything that they found any people or anything like any other than like physical things, because for the most part, it's not like it exploded and people were living there. It was clearly
they
abandoned.
had time to get out.
Yeah, they left. I guess they were just like, you know what, like I said, this keeps happening, so let's go ahead and haul out. But all their stuff is there, and the pottery and these murals, way better than anything you ever see in Egypt. You know what I mean? And those are, for the most part, sealed off. But no, these are like crisp, clean, like great murals.
Cool.
Yeah, so we talk a lot about, like I said, like volcanoes being super destructive and everything. But in this case, it was actually a really, really cool preservation technique and kind of kept it and protected hidden. Because you figure those Spanish conquistadors, they raided everything. Like if there was gold or any valuables anywhere nearby, they're like, ours. Yeah. But it's been protected, like I said, for centuries until they discovered it in the early 1900s.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Is it open to the public?
Yeah, there's a church on top of it. If you Google Cholula, you'll see the church, which is, to be fair, the church is pretty cool looking itself. But they've excavated enough of it that you can see bits and pieces, like see like the staircases and things like that. Wait, let's see here. So yeah, you can. So once you've explored the upper area of the pyramid, you can take a dive to the labyrinth of tunnels underneath. So partial. So it is partially. Okay. I'm assuming they don't have it.
It's probably like the catacomb situation.
Yeah. So you can visit some of it, but not all of it. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Super cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. So next week we'll be coming at you with another mini episode on volcanoes. And like we said, it'll be this one plus 5 more, and then we will start season 12. So make sure you guys go follow us on our pages. If you just search for Wildly Curious Podcast, we're out there. So please like and subscribe, and it would help us out a lot.
Talk to you next week.